It seems like people are finally waking up. You know, finally questioning the approved globalist narrative, at least more than before. No longer are people just accepting the official narrative and signing off in approval, accepting the never-ending funding of whatever today's proxy war is. It seems like people are finally waking up to the warmongering ways, and in this case, literally standing up, as an activist heckles Hillary Clinton for blindly supporting and endorsing Joe Biden's little proxy war efforts. We got a clip that's going viral all over the internet. There's a couple things I want to talk about, but before we get into any of it, this video is actually brought to you guys by a fantastic sponsor, and that sponsor is Ground News. Folks, if you want to stay informed, especially during trying times of conflict, tragedy, and global instability, there's only one way to break through the propaganda, and the absolute best way to do that is by using Ground News' blind spot tool. Here's an example of how the tool works. Here are some pretty important, relevant stories to forming your worldview on what's going on in the Middle East and the potential national security risk that we're currently facing. Hamas terrorists were carrying instructions on how to make chemical weapons, Israeli president claims. A pretty important story, especially for leftists who continue to defend this terrorist organization, but this story only received 14% coverage in left-wing sources. Feds warn that Hamas, Hezbollah could be crossing the southern border. 86% of sources covering this story are right-wing sources, with only 5% on the left. 736 known or suspected terrorists apprehended at U.S. border in fiscal 2023. 0% leftist coverage, 86% right. These are the stories that people miss when they live in an echo chamber. Ground News has got you covered. They make sure you don't miss a thing. And folks, thanks to this partnership between us here at the Liberal Hive Mind and our friends at Ground News, I'm able to offer you guys a 30% discount on Ground News' Vantage Plan subscription. All you gotta do is go to ground.news/hivemind, links down below in the description and in the pinned comment. Take advantage of this exclusive offer so the propagandists can't win. A huge thank you to Ground News. Now back to the video. Alright folks, so let's take a look at this little interaction with Hillary Clinton, and then let's have a conversation.
Struck by the hypocrisy of this.
Two more people to hear from.
I'm sorry.
You have a chance. Well, I'm not sorry. You sit down.
I know you're not sorry. That's the point. The hypocrisy of this speech. The hypocrisy of the fact that what do you have? Can you please make a statement about President Joe Biden's speech? This is a clearly warmongering speech. President Joe Biden is calling for $100 billion of funding for Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine, and we're supposed to just bundle these together and pretend like we're going to rush to World War III. And
you know,
yes,
this is not the way to have a conversation.
I'm sorry.
If you want to have a conversation, you're welcome to come talk to me afterwards.
You can sit here. Okay, right. You're gonna wait for me, right? Please, I do not believe you.
I will listen to you, and I will respond to you.
I do not believe you. Respectfully, I do not believe you. And the fact of the matter is that the American people's voice are what need to be heard.
Yeah, they are being heard.
Because our president is not speaking for the American people, and neither are you.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Yes, that's my opinion.
Well, then sit down. We've heard your opinion. Thank you very much. Now we're going to turn to people who are on the front lines.
I'm not going to stop
working on behalf of human rights.
You see how mad Hillary Clinton got there? I mean, she absolutely snapped. And it's no surprise why. This is how Democrats act when they aren't in complete power. This is how elitist Washington politicians act when confronted by protesters. They absolutely hate it. You know, we've been covering a whole lot of clips of Vivek Ramaswamy, for instance, dealing with hecklers, people in the crowd shouting him down or protesting with signs, and in almost every instance, he responds very cordially, very respectfully, and engages in a dialogue, talking about the ideas, clarifying his stances. Hillary Clinton doesn't do that, of course not, because Hillary Clinton views herself above the common man and woman. Hillary Clinton is not to be questioned, is not to be challenged. Hillary Clinton only exists in environments where she controls the journalism that is being done. And when she can't control it, well, this is how she acts. This is why Hillary Clinton famously, back in 2016, was caught colluding with Donna Brazile, getting the debate questions and debate topics so she could prepare ahead of time before taking taking the debate stage against Donald Trump during those primetime 2016 debates. The establishment doesn't want you to ask questions. The establishment doesn't want these kinds of interactions. Hillary Clinton will say, "I'm totally open to having a conversation with you after this event," as if that's ever going to happen, as if Hillary Clinton is going to meet with a random stranger or voter outside and openly discuss ideas with them. Give me a break. Hillary Clinton probably added that individual's name to a list, and I wouldn't be surprised if that heckler by next week just vanishes from thin air. The interaction, I think, was great. I think the protester raised some good points, some clear concerns that many voters have, but I really feel like the interaction itself was kind of a microcosm. It was emblematic of the relationship between your average voter, the regular guy, and elitist Washington cabal members. Just the general dismissive tone, the lack of accountability, and the lack of answers. That little interaction is essentially a metaphor of the picture at large in a way. You have these elitist politicians who keep spending your money, who keep getting entangled in all kinds of messy situations abroad, who continue to fail to deliver tangible results for you, the American voter and taxpayer, and when it comes to answering for those failures, or when it comes to justifying whatever nonsense they're getting involved with abroad, they're dismissive, they're arrogant, they're condescending, and they are never held to account. They simply repeat history over and over again and simply get away with it. In fact, in many cases, it seems like those who are most deeply entrenched and involved in some of these detrimental behaviors, well, those are the first people to get promotions. And I mean, Hillary Clinton is the queen of exactly that. Her dismal record as Secretary of State, the whole Benghazi failure and that scandal, that black Benghazi cloud that continues to follow her around, where did that lead her? For Pete's sakes, it almost led her into the White House. If Donald Trump hadn't done the Lord's work and saved the world from a Hillary Clinton term, who knows where we'd be? Maybe this global instability, conflict, and all these proxy wars would have started in 2016 rather than in 2020. Enough of these politicians and their addiction to bloody conflict across the globe. I thought things were supposed to be different. At least that's what the Democrats told us. Elect Joe Biden to bring back stability to the world and to the White House. Here's a great flashback Joe Biden recently inaugurated, talking about peace in the Middle East and a ceasefire between Gaza and the Israelis back in May of 2021.
One of the reasons why we were able to get the ceasefire in 11 days, they didn't do what other people have done. I don't talk about what I tell people in private. I don't talk about what we negotiate in private. What I can assure you, though, is that the last time it took 56 days and then 6 months to get a ceasefire. I'm praying this ceasefire will hold.
Fast forward now, and Joe Biden is assuring us that Pope Francis has endorsed the U.S. game plan for Israel-Gaza war. Don't worry, folks, the Pope's behind it, therefore it must be justified. I've never seen such insane warmongering, wartime propaganda in my life. Now we got Hillary Clinton and the rest of these deep state clowns doing a freaking media tour, arguing why it's so important that we fund another conflict. Don't worry, Janet Yellen said that you could certainly afford it.
Can America, can the West afford another war at this time?
I think the answer is absolutely.
People are waking up, and I think the frustration is reaching a boiling point, especially in times of economic struggle. People want to be able to afford groceries, not foreign proxy wars that have nothing to do with them. Good on this guy. Hillary Clinton looked absolutely awful in this clip, as per usual. And I just wanted to say a couple things, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.